Hello, our topic for today is systematic transactions in mutual funds. As we all know, one of the advantages of investing in mutual fund is we can invest or withdraw in a systematic manner. Broadly, there are three types of systematic transactions. The first one is SIP, known as Systematic Investment Plan. In SIP, investors can invest in a mutual fund scheme in a systematic manner. The second type of transaction is SWP, known as Systematic Withdrawal Plan. In SWP, investors can withdraw from mutual fund scheme in a systematic manner. The third type of transaction is STP, known as Systematic Transfer Plan. In STP, investors can transfer their money from one scheme to another scheme. All these transactions are very important. So let us discuss these transactions in detail. Systematic Investment Plan. SIP is one of the simplest way to achieve financial goals. Goals can be anything. It can be to buy a car, to plan for your retirement, to buy a house, to plan for your vacation. SIP helps to achieve these goals in a systematic manner. Let us see how does it work. Let's take an example of Mr. Roy. Roy is planning to buy a house after 10 years. He would require 25 lakh rupees to buy his dream house. To accumulate this amount today, he should do a lump sum investment of 8 lakhs 5,000 rupees in a product which gives 12% return. But the problem is, he do not have this amount to invest today. So what do you think? Can he still buy his dream house? Yes or no? The answer is yes. Through SIP. That is Systematic Investment Plan. If Mr. Roy invests a small amount of 11,300 rupees per month for 10 years in a product which gives 12% return, he can buy his dream house. So investing a fixed amount, here in this case it is 11,300 rupees for a fixed interval. Here in this case it is per month, so we can write say first of every month. And for a fixed time period, in this case it is 10 years, so we can write 120 months, is called SIP. Hence, SIP helps investors like Roy to plan for their financial goals by investing a small amount in a disciplined manner. One of the advantages of investing in SIP is rupee cost averaging. Let us see how does it work. In Systematic Investment Plan, investors get the advantage of rupee cost averaging because the net asset value, that is the NAV, is averaged out. Let me explain how. Suppose there is an investor Ram. Ram wanted to invest 6,000 rupees through SIP. Let us assume he does an SIP for 6 months. Every month 1,000 rupees will be invested for 6 months. In the first month, 1,000 rupees was invested at a NAV of 10.31, in the second month at a NAV of 10.01, and in the third month at a NAV of 9.73, and so on. We can clearly see the difference here. Every month, 1,000 rupees was invested at different NAVs. The difference is due to market volatility. Market never moves in straight line. It is always volatile. When markets were down, 1,000 rupees was invested at a lower NAV, due to which he got more units. And when markets were high, 1,000 rupees was invested at higher NAV, due to which he got lower units. So because of market volatility, 6,000 rupees was invested at an average NAV of 10.12. Hence, investors like Ram, who regularly invest through SIPs, will fetch more units when the market is down, and they will get lesser unit when the market are high, thus getting the benefit of rupee cost averaging. The second type of transaction is systematic withdrawal plan. In SWP, as the name suggests, a fixed amount of money is systematically withdrawn at a fixed interval from the investment corpus. Let us take an example of Mr. Roy, who is a retired person. Mr. Roy requires 25,000 rupees for his personal expenses. He has a retirement corpus of 50 lakh rupees, which he have accumulated during the accumulation stage of his life. Mr. Roy is investment savvy and he knows the importance of SWP in mutual funds. So he invests this amount in a mutual fund scheme and registers for SWP of rupees 25,000. Every month 25,000 rupees will be redeemed from scheme account and will be credited in Roy's bank account. So because of SWP, Mr. Roy will not only get 25,000 rupees for his personal expenses, but also his investment corpus will grow. Let's draw a cash flow for 1 year to get a better clarity. Let us assume Mr. Roy invested his retirement corpus of 50 lakh rupees in a debt scheme, where returns are generally between 7 to 9%. Assuming he got a 8% return from his investment, units worth rupees 25,000 will be reduced from his scheme account every month as shown in the table below. This is a cash flow of Mr. Roy for 1 year. This column shows the number of months. This shows the investment at the starting of every month. This column shows the growth in that particular month. This column shows the amount he withdraws every month. And this column, the balance in that month. So this amount will be carried forward in the next month, the growth in that second month, the withdrawal in the balance, and so on. In the first month, 50 lakh rupees increased to 50 lakh 32,170 rupees, out of which he withdraws 25,000 rupees and the balance which remains is 50 lakhs 7,170 rupees. Even after withdrawing 3 lakh rupees through SWP, that is the sum total of this amount, his investment corpus of 50 lakh rupees grows to 50 lakhs 89,153 rupees. So SWP is an effective tool for investors like Roy who want fixed monthly withdrawal from their investment corpus. However, we should always note that the total yearly withdrawal should not be more than the long-term interest rate prevailing in the market. Like instance 7% to 8% at the time of making this video. In SWP, investors also have an option to withdraw capital appreciation from the scheme. Let us see how does it work. If Mr. Roy, instead of withdrawing a fixed amount, if you opted to withdraw only the capital appreciation in the scheme, in that case, if the investment value grow from 50 lakh rupees to 50 lakh 25,000, in that month he will withdraw only 25,000 rupees. In the second month, if the 50 lakh rupees increased to 50 lakh 15,000 rupees, in that case, he will withdraw 15,000 rupees. Similarly, in the third month, the capital appreciation of 30,000 rupees will be withdrawn. The objective is that at any point of time, the initial investment of 50 lakh rupees do not fluctuate much and remains constant. I hope you have understood SWP. Now let us see the third type of transaction, STP. Systematic Transfer Plan. In STP, investors can transfer their money from one scheme to another scheme. STP is one of the commonly used tools in financial planning today. Let us see how does it work. Joy is an investor. He wanted to invest 12 lakh rupees in equity scheme. But he feels market are currently overvalued. He fears if he invests, market may fall. To reduce the risk of capital loss, he decides to invest this amount in a debt scheme and transfer 1 lakh rupees every month for the next 1 year in equity scheme. This strategy of transferring money from one scheme to another scheme of the same fund house is called STP. We can also see here Joy is doing SWP from debt scheme by withdrawing 1 lakh rupees every month and doing SIP in equity scheme by investing 1 lakh rupees every month. STP works similarly like SIP. The only difference is instead of amount being invested through bank, in STP the amount is invested through existing scheme. The scheme from which the money is withdrawn is called source scheme, and the scheme in which the money is invested is called the target scheme. So to summarize, a fixed or appreciation amount is transferred from one scheme to another scheme at a fixed interval. I hope you understood STP. In this topic, systematic transactions in mutual fund, we have learnt about SIP, systematic investment plan, SWP, systematic withdrawal plan, and STP, systematic transfer plan. So let us summarize these transactions once again. In SIP, a fixed amount is debited from client's bank account and is invested in mutual fund scheme. In STP, a fixed amount is transferred from one scheme to another scheme of the same fund house. In SWP, a fixed amount is withdrawn from scheme account and is credited back to the client's bank account. However, in case of SWP and STP, investors have an option to withdraw or transfer a fixed or capital appreciation from the scheme. So this concludes our topic, systematic transactions in mutual funds.